Hey everybody, long time no see. What's going on? This is Badfish and welcome back to another episode of Mauna Key. If you're new to my channel, Mauna Key is my current ongoing city Skylines series. It's basically, I guess it's based on Hawaii more or less, but we're just kind of doing a tropical build, doing some cool things with it. If you want to check out the other videos that are on my channel. But anyway, guys, today we're going to be doing something pretty fun. We're going to be building out a artificial island, kind of as you can see in the middle of the ocean right here, kind of in the middle of the island that already exists. And I did a build like this in the very beginning of San Pedro, and it was pretty good, but I think there's a lot I could improve on. And I've kind of been wanting to do like a casino resort build. I really enjoy kind of like the really manicured aspects of like building out entrances to the casinos and things like that you guys will see here. Also, I've just been honestly reading a lot about the history of gambling lately. I don't know, well, not reading, I guess watching videos. I watched a lot of biographics videos on like the people who kind of started Vegas and things like that. And if you don't know, I'm also a giant baseball fan, and I've been reading a lot about the 1919 fix of the World Series. If you don't know about that, it's absolutely wild. Essentially, you know, the World Series, the biggest game in baseball, was thrown, and it was all kind of, I guess not put in motion, but completed by one man named Arnold Rothstein, which is a really interesting story. I mean, the 1920s were just absolutely wild. But it's just, you know, all that history and stuff has kind of made me want to build out like a casino strip or, you know, a little miniature kind of Vegas feel right here in Mauna Key. And it fits. I mean, hey, you got a nice tropical big resort island. You're gonna want to throw some casinos and hotels and get that tourist money, that sweet tourist money, right? So here we are. Right now we kind of have the base of the island set up. I kind of cut it out a little bit with the keys on the end, and now we're just throwing down some of the different hotels and stuff we're going to be using. I will eventually throw in some more, and I'll kind of start building out the roads a little bit. Don't pay too much attention to how they're set up right now, because that is going to almost completely change. But essentially what we're going to do right now, guys, is just kind of get the main layout of the island going, get the casinos down, get some of like the condos and stuff down, and we're going to put like mansions and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of like really big buildings, really manicured stuff, and we put a lot of detail into this one. So I'm going to leave you guys here and just let you watch the build for a little bit, but I'll be checking in periodically just to let you know kind of what I'm doing and some of my reasoning behind things. But I really hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, leave that like down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So at this point, I'm going to kind of just start changing up the layout of the island a little bit. Basically, this was all precipitated because I got this cool like casino strip sign, and it has the you know, the six-way avenue or boulevard, whatever it is, as its road piece, so I had to have one of those kind of cutting through as the main strip there. I'm hoping, once we get more population in Mauna Key in total and we have more people coming to the casinos and stuff, we'll actually see good use on this road, because as of right now, it is pretty bare as far as car traffic goes, but it does make a good backbone to kind of have all these casinos propped up against. And you're going to see me doing like a lot of clipping with different buildings and kind of smushing them together to make them look interesting. I did that a lot with the beach resort buildings by Tomas that you kind of see up in the corner right now. They're the orange roofed buildings. And just got a lot of interesting looking casinos. They look really good when they're all lit up at nighttime too. I really like how this place looks at night. And we had some other things to kind of add to that skyline and that look to make it really pop and make the colors really pop. I really like having a lot of neon in the skyline instead of just like regular lights, and I think we really got that going in this area. So we're gonna kind of finish up the layout of the island here in the next minute or so, and then we're gonna jump into some more detailing. So once we get into that part, I will get with you guys there and let you know kind of my process going through the detailing for the different buildings. So this is another bit of detailing that I've done before, and it's a really cool little building pack that I get off the workshop called Cities Fest. They're actually underwater utilities for whatever reason. I know the creator explained it in the description of the mod, but I forgot what it was. But anyway, they're water buildings technically, but they're basically a cool bit of like a main concert stage and auxiliary stages, and then these big signs that you can kind of put up. So I thought it would be cool to kind of have like a little festival area in this island. So, maybe there's like different festivals and different shows that go on, throughout the year around the casinos and stuff. So people come here to watch the shows and gamble and all that cool stuff. So we're gonna really kind of stack this place up with a cool looking park and then a bunch of fans and concert goers and, just the whole crowd and like some amenities and things like that. And I think it ended up looking really good. I'm realizing though, the one thing I did forget to put down was a bunch of porta potties, so I don't know where all these concert goers are going to the bathroom. So that could be a sticky situation. But maybe I'll add them later. Anyway, we're just gonna finish out kind of putting down the props and stuff, and then just jump into like landscaping and things for the park itself. I did realize I can't use these particular paths because they will get painted over with surface painter, which is a bummer. So we kind of switched over just to typical park paths, but we'll build that out real quick. I think it's a good bit of detail to add, and it doesn't take a ton of work to do. Let me know what you guys think of it. So this next bit I had a little bit of fun with. These are like light sculptures I got off the workshop. I've used them before in like mansions and parks and things, kind of standalone by themselves, but they do glow, kind of like in a cool neon glow at nighttime. So I wanted to kind of put them all together and kind of make a weird like sculpture slash, I don't know, just like something to draw your eye as you're entering the strip. I don't know. I just wanted to fill up this space with something a little unique and cool. So we're going to use the non-conforming curbs over here, and we're going to kind of make a circle around these 3 light up loops here, and then we're going to add a couple more things in the middle there by the other sculpture, and I think it ends up looking pretty cool. It's kind of like a weird little detail. I don't know. This is another one I want opinions on from you guys, because it's kind of a funky little doodad. I don't know. I think it's one of those things, if it was in a real city, people would either love it or hate it. You're not going to really feel in the middle about it because it is very bright and very big. But yeah, I think it ended up looking pretty cool, and just wanted something to add to the entrance a little bit. So now we're just kind of finishing off the front end of the strip here, just kind of taking this blank chunk out with some natural growth patterns and things like that. And then we, of course, have another big statue that I grabbed off the workshop over here. And we're just gonna, really trying to make it like a manicured walkway, manicured park, where there's these really nice casinos and stuff. Really big money is getting spent to run and operate those. So they're going to want to keep the island itself and the area around it very pretty, right? Like, at least that's my headcanon. So I'm just trying to make everything like very pristine, very uniform when I am doing, parks and things in this area. And I think all together, once it kind of all fits together, it looks really good. I think it's kind of like a puzzle, right? Like, each individual piece might not be like crazy detailed, but the whole overarching theme is really good. And I think that's a big part of building in City Skylines. You need to really theme your builds and kind of have a plan of attack for what you're doing with them. So for this, I really want it to be manicured, really want it to be like a cool tropical resort for, the people of Mauna Key and the greater, universe to come hang out and fly into and spend a cool weekend. And I think I really did capture that. I'm proud of how this one turned out. And I think little parks like this make all the difference. Like, just taking up those blank chunks of concrete, those blank spaces, and putting things other than just buildings in them. So yeah, this is kind of a quick little way just to add some cool bits of detail. It did take me a little bit of time to get these benches right, though, because for some reason they didn't want to snap to the ground, so they kept floating. And unfortunately, just with the camera mod I'm using, if I go over buildings and stuff, I soar into the sky. So if you see my camera like freak out, it's because I hit a skyscraper like that and jump into the air. But we're gonna finish up this little build by adding some like walkways through here and kind of getting it so Sims will actually use it when Sims actually come to this island. And yeah, I think it looks really good. So quick sidebar about this part of the build. It was actually more of a pain than it looks. I know it's a really simple pool, but for some reason these pools, when they get too close to each other, they like to clip into the blue abyss of nothing that certain City Skylines assets like to do when they get triggered. So it was kind of like I had to really make sure the spacing was right on them, and I think we ended up with something looking pretty good. It looks a little bare right now, but once we add in all the different props and stuff, I think it looks really good for a hotel pool. I like kind of how active it looks, and it's just another way to add detail into these little areas, these little nooks and crannies of casinos and things like that. And, the non-conforming curbs that you're going to see me use a lot, I believe those are by King Leno. They're awesome for this kind of detailing. You can fit any space with them, so highly recommend those. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that it wasn't as easy as it looks, all right? So I really love doing detailing on this bad boy here. This is the Beach Resort by Tomas. It's a bunch of different buildings all smushed together to make kind of one superstructure. Great assets if you haven't used them. I've definitely used them before in beach towns and things like that, but I just think they're beautiful. And I wanted to take some time to do like a very like manicured natural landscape. I've been using a lot of concrete over by the strip and stuff. So kind of in this corner, basically I kind of separated the island into two sides. One side is going to be our gambling strip, nightlife, and then the other side is kind of your more typical beach resorts for people who just want to get a room and hang out by the ocean. So that's kind of what's going on here. I'm kind of making this very clean. I didn't want to use a lot of concrete, so I painted everything in with grass. And right now you're just seeing me kind of get the fence right. Of course, where there's no sidewalks now, people are going to be walking through the fence a little bit, but hopefully the pedestrian traffic will be all right. I mean, the cims in City Skylines are superhuman and can clip through walls, so I think they'll be okay. But yeah, really enjoyed doing this kind of landscaping and stuff. It's real simple to do once you get down to it, once you get everything kind of painted in. And, the trees I only use like 2 or 3 different trees and like a bush to kind of make everything look really cool. But yeah, I really like how this one turns out. I think the way I clipped the building was pretty interesting. I think when I'm clipping buildings, I just try to look at them from every angle. I guess what I mean by that is like I try to flip each individual building like 2 or 3 times, even if I like how it looks the first time, just to kind of get different angles on it and see how it can work out. So like we have this kind of cool arm coming off on the left here where the parking, or not the parking area is, but the road runs into, and got this bigger kind of main building that's kind of like the main hotel in my eyes, and I think it ended up looking pretty cool. So we're just going to wrap up the detailing on this beach resort here, just doing a little bit more simple detailing with plants and things like that. Like I said, I only used like 2 or 3 different kinds of trees to achieve this kind of detailing that we're doing here, and I really like the way it turned out, at least. So we're going to finish this up and then jump into a little bit more of the casino detailing, and then we're going to finish off the build here today with my favorite part, which is building out and detailing some really big mansions and really big kind of plots of land for them on the other side of the island. So I hope you guys stick around for that and enjoy it, but we're going to finish up detailing these casinos, and I'll see you when the mansions get worked on. Alright, so my mansions here. First thing you're going to notice is I am putting in driveways for these bad boys. I just think it adds, a little bit more realism to it. You're not going to have these giant mansions right up against a main road. It's not going to happen that way. And I am using these kind of rural asphalt roads, which I know don't really fit the fancy pants mansion motif. They're a little beat up. I blame the sea spray on that one. But really, it's just these were the only roads in the time I spent on the workshop that I could find that I liked that didn't have any sidewalks, because you're not going to have a sidewalk leading up to your house. That makes no sense. You want it to be a little more private and things like that. So I just used these roads, even though they're a little beat up, they just look more like driveways to me, and just kind of trying to set them up in different ways around the different mansions and stuff, and make it look pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is kind of move on to making the natural area around here look a little more interesting. Obviously right now it's just a sandy beach. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted these places to have more greenery and yards and things. So we're going to start off by doing some surface painter. And it's going to look absolutely horrendous, I promise you, at first. But stick with me. I promise it'll look decent by the end. We got a lot of detailing to do to get there. So you'll kind of see what I mean in a minute. And once we jump into some more detailing on the actual houses themselves, I'll let you guys know my process for those. So like I said, that surface painter looked real rough at first, huh? I promise it'll get better. I know it's still not quite there yet, but this is a big part of it. So like I said, I wanted to have very manicured lawns and, big lots for these mansions. So I'm using this decal, this manicured lawn decal in conjunction with the grass surface painter just to kind of achieve that look. And I think once we kind of get everything filled out and get, the surface painter kind of toned back a little bit, it does look realistic. It doesn't just look like a big green blob on the side of an island. I liked the way it turned out. You guys will have to let me know what you think. But more or less, this is going to be my process for going through these different mansions. Like I said before, I picked up a bunch of sculptures, fountains, just different things to use in these kind of areas and like the entrances of the different casinos. And then just doing some very simple manicured landscaping. You're going to see me repeating a lot of the different flowers and trees I use. That's just to keep it simple and also not to overload my computer with an absolute mountain of different assets as far as foliage goes. I do have quite a few, but I'm trying to simplify that a little bit so we don't have any crashes like we did back with San Pedro and Acadia. But yeah, these mansions, I use them in San Pedro. I did a whole episode with them, the buildings themselves, and I think they just allow for a lot of different freedom in how you style them. The ones in San Pedro were right up against some cliffs. They didn't have huge yards like these ones do, and I think they ended up looking really good. And then these ones, each yard is square, so I'm trying to do something different with each one, add different details, and kind of challenge myself to detail them in different ways. So like on this one that I'm doing right now, I'm going to put a pool area like I did in the back of that hotel. This one's going to be a little less involved, obviously, because it's a residential pool, not a commercial one. So not as many props and things like that, but I think it did end up looking pretty good. And then, on some of the other buildings you'll see as far as like props I use some of the work crews that I utilize in industrial builds, but in this case I'm making them look like maintenance and lawn care workers and things like that, just to make again the buildings look a little more alive. Add some different theming to them since they are going to have more or less the same kind of yards and things like that. And the sculptures do make a difference too, because you can add different ones to each one, and just make it look a little bit different, make it pop a little bit more. So just fencing each one in, adding in the yards and things like that, and putting in those details. We'll kind of finish up these, and then that is pretty much going to be it for today's build though, guys. We did add a couple other details that I did off camera that I'll show you in the live play and the cinematic, so stick around for those. And I'll give you definitely a more in-depth look without all the camera switching and jumping around that the time lapse affords. But let me know what you guys think of this area in particular as well. I know I'm asking for a lot of opinions today, but this was a big build, so I want to see how people took to it. But I'm gonna let the music play out from this point on, guys, let you enjoy the rest of the build. Again though, leave a like if you've made it this far. We're 33 minutes in, so I hope you enjoy the video if you're still with me, and if you do, definitely leave that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're at 700, a little bit above 700 subscribers right now, which is absolutely unreal. My goal is to make it to 1,000 by the end of the year. I think that'd be pretty sweet, so if you can help me out there, I'd appreciate it. But again, gonna let the music play out now, and I will see you guys in the live play section to talk over a little bit more of the build and some of my thoughts about it, and I'll see you there. Alright guys, welcome to the live play part of today's build. Thanks for sticking around as long as you have. Consider giving me a like since you're still here. You might as well drop a like down there so this video can get out to some more people. More people can see the builds and the channel. I'd really appreciate that. But enough pandering, let's jump into the build and talk about what we did here. So this has been one of my more involved builds that I've done in Mauna Key, I think. It's kind of funny that I'm doing like a tourist destination when there's like literally no other population on the island besides like a couple small towns, but hey, I wanted to do this and I had some fun with it. So what you're looking at here is kind of the main strip of the island over here. I don't really know what we're gonna call this yet. If you have a good name for our casino island besides Atlantis, let me know. So if you have a good name for this one, let me know what you think. The Mauna Key Tourist Resort Casino Island. So this is kind of the main strip here. I got a bunch of different casinos. Some I've used in the past, some I haven't. Just really tried to get interesting looking high-rise buildings to kind of just jump up there. And then over here we got these two like cool looking clubs that glow up in all neon and things. I think they're like called Club Anastasia and Club Alpha, I think. And then of course you just have the ferry depot. No ferry lines running yet, so no one can actually get here, so that's an issue. I'll definitely rectify that soon when we put some more population in Mauna Key so we can actually have ferries running. Then we just got a couple of these like pier restaurants over here that I think are just with the typical, I don't know if it's Park Life or what adds those, but we got those going. Off the workshop, I got this awesome welcome to the strip sign. I'll show you guys that all lit up in a little bit. This gaggle of things over here was just me kind of, I found like all these lit up sculptures and stuff, and I just wanted to kind of do something interesting with them and just have like an interesting another piece of like light up sculpture and stuff to kind of draw people's eyes to the strip. And as we go through, I didn't do a ton on the sidewalks and stuff, but I did add like just to the entrances of some of the different casinos and stuff, kind of along walkways and stuff. Like over here, you'll see by the sculpture, I did all these curbs and benches and, you know, walkways through here for people to go through. Eventually we'll actually have cars in these parking lots once this stuff starts getting used. But yeah, around the casinos, just not a ton. Well, I mean, a good amount of detailing, just kind of adding to the entrances and around them, and on a couple of them, like this guy, where did he go? This guy over here, like I just threw a little restaurant in the back that got messed up because of height changes. That's a bummer. And then, you know, just some more stuff on the entrance and stuff. There's actually a police station hidden inside this place, which is kind of fun. As you go down the strip too, obviously you have more casinos and things. And then I just wanted to throw in, I love the way this is all off Park Life except for this roller coaster. I believe this was off the workshop. I love the way these things look at night when they're all lit up and going and moving. I think it's really cool. The Ferris wheel is not moving right now. Don't know what's going on there, but I just think they look really awesome in motion and all that good stuff. So wanted to throw those in there. And then we have another cool piece of detailing over here. We did put Cities Fest in Mauna Key. So if you remember, if you've seen it in Acadia, I used this same kind of props pack to make a festival right next to my like Little Italy that I made. We're using it here to put on the resort island. They got a concert festival. I put, you know, way more fans than I usually do. So we got a ton of fans, ton of people hanging out. We even put like a little band up here. You know, got the food trucks over here with a couple lines, and got the auxiliary stage and all that. And this looks really cool at night too. I'll come back over here when I show you guys everything at night. And as we just go around over here, this is kind of the resort side of everything. So whereas this is our casino side, kind of around the side over here, we got more like condos and resorts. And then of course the piece de resistance over here, these big mansions. So I use these in San Pedro as well as the wealthy lady leaves in her nice car. So I used these in San Pedro as well, and did like a whole mansion episode. I'm just using them here just to kind of round out the rest of this island. I think they're a fun bit of detail to do. I think it looks nice, you know, like I added the pool in back of this one with some tiling around it. Just put some people hanging out in behind this one. You know, again, just random little bits of detailing. Like over here we have a little work crew, you know, who's kind of working on the house, more statues and stuff. I'm using this like rural asphalt road as our driveways just because there's no decorations on them. They're not, you know, I wish they looked a little more pristine maybe, but I didn't want to have sidewalks on people's driveways because that doesn't happen, so I didn't want to do that. So this guy, we just put a bunch of tulips in front of it, a bunch of little plants kind of around the side, nothing crazy in back. And I am using this cool decal, this manicured grass decal. It only really works when you use it in conjunction with surface painter, but I think it came out looking pretty cool. And then the last one over here, kind of phoned this one in a little bit because it's getting toward the end of the build. So I just popped in some trees and a little lawnmower and some other trees. I think it looks fine. So that is the mansions. And then over here, we just have public beach, nothing special. Used a bunch of the stuff I typically use. And along the side over here, we just have, again, more of our, let me reset that. And put the light intensity down. Okay, cool. So we just have over here our little bits of resort area and things like that. So in my mind, this is just a big old beach resort that people come, they rent out rooms and they hang out on the beach all day and then hit casinos and stuff like that later. And then we have the really nice beach resort by Tomas over here that I've always loved. I think it's just a beautiful looking building. I kind of finagled 1, 2, 3, 4 of them together to make like a superstructure here on the corner, and added in, again, a bunch of just trees and things. Just simple little ways to make it look a little more detailed. And then of course on the back of this building here, I added this cool little pool area again, and you know, just trees all throughout, parking lots, things like that. Again, sculptures, all that cool stuff, just to add some cool little details. Ignore that there's a ton of dead people in those condos. I don't know what to do about that. There's literally a incinerator inside. Like, I hit it inside one of those condos and it's still not helping those people. So I'm gonna let it go. So what we're gonna do now is, just before I go over and finish up the episode and send you guys on to the cinematic shots, I am just gonna give you a little bit of the live play at nighttime, just because this place does light up pretty great in my opinion. So you know, you have the big Palm Casino right here with its cool flashing lights. You have all those light up things I did down here. Again, the strip sign lights up really nicely, so as you kind of look down the strip, you got some really cool colors going on. All these buildings with that helipad. I wish this one lit up just a little bit more than it does, but it's still got, you know, oh, it's cool on this side. Oh, that's a bummer. I should have put this side on. Oh, whatever. And then, like I said, we have over here our real nice looking amusement park stuff, and I love just seeing the motion on those. And I mean, everything, just like when you scroll out, you can tell like this is kind of the quieter side, right? You know, you just have a couple little houses and stuff, and then it's just like boom, big bright lights. Even as you turn around this way, still just bright. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really enjoyed all of this. I'll show you the concert area real quick. So yeah, it really lights up, you know, especially on the stage and the other stage and stuff. I used a bunch of like construction lights there and things like that to really make that pop. Be a pain to live in one of these condos during concert night though, that's for sure. Look at that. Yeah, those guys are not getting sleep. Hope they have blackout shades. Anyway, that is gonna do it for the episode here today, guys. So I really hope you did enjoy it. Again, if you did, definitely leave that like down below. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, and you know, helps me again grow the channel, get it out to more people. I think I just hit like 700 subscribers, which is super exciting, and you know, we're getting close to 1,000, which is, you know, a huge goal of mine with this channel. So definitely leave a like, help support the channel. And if you are new, definitely subscribe if you want to see more cities content and cool builds like this one. But like I said, guys, I am going to now leave you with some really awesome cinematics of today's build. I think they came out really nice, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.